Hey y'all, welcome to Kamira's Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make an easy soul food meal. Baby, this that meal when everything seems like it's just falling apart and you need some good and easy to hold you down like a good pair of Spanx. Baby, this meal will come through for you. Now, I love this because in total, I feel like this takes only about 45 minutes. Now, of course, you're going to be making multiple things at one time. And I think 45 minutes is still on the quick and easy time frame for a soul food dinner when you don't want too many things that are processed, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm starting first with my hamburger steak, and I've cut up some mushrooms, and I'm going to season 1 pound of 90% lean ground beef with some seasonings, some peppers, onion, and egg. I'm using almond flour here because I wanted to keep this more on the low carb side because really I tend to mostly just eat the meat and the vegetables, but of course you can substitute in breadcrumbs, but almond flour does not change the taste. I'm also going to add a bit of that Worcestershire sauce. And I'm going to mix this until it just comes together. You don't want to overwork the meat because you don't want it to be tough. I'm going to divide this into 4 even-sized hamburger patties. However, if you want these on the smaller side or you trying to stretch this because you got them little kids, 5 would still work out well. Once I form them into my patties, I'm just going to stick them on the side of the bowl and I'm going to let them sit for a few minutes to come to room temp. Y'all know Sister Mabel. She's been holding me down from day one. So I'm putting my cast iron skillet on and I'm going to heat up some oil and I'm going to add my hamburger patties. I'm going to cook these on a medium-high heat because I want them to brown really well. After they cook on one side for about 3 to 4 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and flip them to the other side. If they are not cooked all the way initially, that's all right because remember, we're going to make a gravy and we're going to end up putting them back into the pan. If you've enjoyed this video so far, don't forget to subscribe and turn on that bell because honey, I'm giving you new full meal ideas every single week. In the comments, let me know what is your favorite go-to meal when you want something quick, maybe easy, but maybe you also want to keep it a little bit homemade. You know what I mean? You maybe don't want to go for the box products, which is fine if you're down for that. But if you're not into like a lot of processed things, just kind of let me know what is your go-to when you want something quick but really flavorful. Now you notice that I scraped the bottom of the skillet because I want to get up that fond. That is going to really flavor this gravy. These mushrooms are absorbing all the seasoning from the hamburger and it's going to take about 3 or 4 minutes for them to get that color. Notice I did not add any salt. I want them to release all their moisture on their own before I add any salt or seasonings to them. I'm also going to put in half of an onion, then I'll put in a pinch of salt and about 3 cloves of garlic and just let that saute for about 30 seconds until the garlic is nice and fragrant. A little bit of flour, about 1.5 tablespoons, is going to help you thicken that gravy. I know some people just like to drown everything on their plate in some gravy. If you are one of those people, then I suggest you add about 3 tablespoons of flour so that you can make more gravy. I just like a little bit, you know, just to complement everything. But I know some of y'all sauce people. Ain't no wrong with that. So if you're a sauce person, add more flour so that you can add extra water to make a lot more gravy. I am using water because I'm going to use beef bouillon in order to make some beef broth. But if you don't like bouillon, then using a low sodium beef broth would be the perfect substitute. Just a little bit of cream adds a nice touch to the gravy. Not a lot, just a little bit. And because I want it to be brown, I'm also going to put in a little bit of browning. But that's optional. That's pretty much mostly for color. I add in a touch of soy sauce, just like a tink, like a teaspoon, to give it a deep umami flavor. And I just put in enough water until I get the amount of gravy that I want. Okay, I didn't measure that at all. I just did it to my liking. Once I have my gravy flavored the way that I want it, I am going to add my hamburger back to the skillet. And then I'm going to, of course, coat it with all of that gravy. I like to let it simmer in this seasoning for about 4 or 5 minutes, not too long, because remember, this hamburger is mostly cooked and you don't want to dry it out. As you can see, I put in a little bit extra water so I can make a touch more gravy, but this was fine for me. Let me know in the comments, is this skillet too dry for you? Do you need more gravy for yours? Okay, because this was perfect for me. I feel like with some rice or mashed potatoes, honey, this hamburger steak is so amazing. Up next, I'm going to be doing a very simple lima beans and corn. Baby, who the folks that still eat some lima beans? Okay, you know, that's that country stuff. All right, I'm going to do a real easy method. I'm going to just take about a cup or so from frozen, and I'm going to simmer them for about 30 minutes until they defrost on medium heat. And then I'm going to add in about a half of a cup of corn. This is really how my grandmother made it, just real simple. Once it's defrosted, she would drain out the water and then add in a bit of butter, salt, pepper, a touch of cream, and then a touch of sugar. Baby, my grandmother put sugar in everything, rice, everything. In fact, she used to be nicknamed the sugar lady. Okay, so just a little bit, and that's all it takes to make this easy side dish. If you have made any of my candied yams recipes, you know that your girl can make a candied yam. Okay, I can do the thing, right? So I'm going to show you guys how to make my smashed candied yams, because that way you get all that yam juice is just locked and loaded in every bite. One of my favorite things to add to some yams is rum. Y'all, some Bacardi, right? That will change the flavor, and it's not the same as using the extract, but if you don't use alcohol, that will work. Okay, I put in about 1.25 cups of brown sugar, but if you like yours super sweet, you can use 1.5 cups, and if you want it less sweet, use about 1 cup. This is 3 pounds of sweet potatoes that I've peeled and cut into 1-inch pieces. Since I'm going to smash these, it really doesn't matter how big or small you cut your sweet potato. I'm going to now mix all of the caramelized juices, okay, together, because this is one of the few times you'll have to just coat the yams. And then I'm going to cover this and simmer this on low for about 15 minutes. Notice that I did not add any water. These yams have released their own juices. It is totally unnecessary to add liquid to your yams. If you're cooking on a lower temperature, it's just going to release all those juices naturally. So I'm going to give these a mix just to make sure everything is well coated, and then I'm going to cover this and allow this to cook for about 20 more minutes until they are tender. Then I'm going to allow these to cook uncovered for about 5 minutes just to reduce the syrup. Then I'm going to go straight in there with a potato masher and just smash these up. If you don't want smashed candy yams, of course you don't have to smash them. You can just leave them at the cook stage whole. But I like doing this because I like to get juices in every single bite. Let me know if you've ever tried this recipe before and if you're willing to try it. Guys, you know that I love you and Jesus loves you. Thank you for your support. Goodbye and God bless.